Hey guys, this is Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We got Nick here, and this is the Monday Night Raw review. I'm just going to give you kind of a little rundown on how this is going to work every week. Mondays is Raw, SmackDown is Tuesdays, obviously. So when we do the reviews, they're going to go up first on Patreon. So on Monday, Patreon's going to get a Raw review, hopefully less than an hour after Raw ends. And then on Tuesdays, SmackDown, Patreon is going to get the review first on SmackDown. On Tuesdays, hopefully again an hour, less than an hour after it goes off the air, and then the following morning they will go up for non-Patreons on the YouTube account. So we got Nick here with us.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Raw review.
And let's run down Raw. So the show started up. Kurt Angle came out. He announced that the Shield would face Strowman, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Miz at TLC. Shield then came out, and there was a fucking, excuse my language, but I mean, pissed me off. As Kurt's talking, they play the Shield music, where they played the original Shield music, where they're like, Sierra, Hotel, and Kurt's talking so you don't hear it. Wasted a moment. And then the Shield comes out. Shield comes out through the crowd.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the Shield comes out through the crowd wearing the freaking Shield gear. They really, in my opinion, should have saved this for Sunday.
Yeah, no, they should have fucking saved this shit for Sunday. Why would you have them do that whole entrance that people really want, and then have Kurt fuck it? Kurt didn't mess it up. Dunn messed it up.
Pretty much, because it would have been better if
it was fucking stupid.
No, it would have been better if they go Sunday and then Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro, Strowman are all standing in the ring, and like the lights go down or something, and then you just hear Sierra, Hotel, and it goes on from there with like everything quiet and everything. Like it could have been one of those like super hardcore nostalgia moments, but it's ruined. If they even try to do it on Sunday, it's just gonna be like, oh, you already fucked that up on Monday,
right? Which makes sense.
So Shield comes out, and Roman gets all freaking hardcore heel on Kurt. He says something along the lines of like, "This is our yard. You either listen to us, get out of here, or we're gonna kick your ass." And Dean grabs the mic and goes, "Whoa, calm down. It's cool. It's cool." Like Roman was hardcore heel on Kurt Angle.
Good. That's what Roman needs to be right now. Is he needs to be a tough guy.
And then Seth and Dean were baby faces, like super baby faces.
Always.
Miz Axel, Sheamus and Cesaro come out. Braun comes out, and then Kurt Angle says that tonight there's going to be a tag team title match. Damn dog barking in the background. Anyways, Kurt Angle says there's going to be a tag team title match tonight. It's going to be Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defending against Sheamus and Cesaro. And then in the main event, it would be, as was advertised last week, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns in the cage, which was actually pretty interesting.
We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I like to call a classic what the fuck moment.
Oh, that was kind of like I had no idea if I was seeing the right thing or if this was like Raw 2 years ago and my freaking thing that I was watching switched to the network. I didn't know what the hell. Anyways, so they go to commercial, they come back, and Elias is in the ring with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Elias asked if he could warm up his voice, and Anderson asked if he can warm up his voice and started repeating the word nerds over and over and over. Anderson then asked Elias if he can warm up like the Honky Tonk Man. And then they started singing some like the Honky Tonk song, and freaking Gallows almost sounded just like Honky Tonk.
Yeah, no, Gallows is really fucking crazy when it comes to singing.
Yeah, then they started singing some random song where Gallows and Anderson kept saying nerds over and over. And then they were interrupted by Jason Jordan, Apollo Crews, and Titus O'Neil. Ended up turning into it was supposed to be. Ended up being a 6-man tag where Apollo Crews ended up pinning Carl Anderson with his spinning powerbomb. Jason Jordan had a cool hot tag in the ring in the middle of the match, including a pretty good actual enziguri. I was surprised Jason Jordan hit an enziguri that like smoothly, because he's not like a high flyer guy or anything, but it was just step up, boom, hit it like nothing.
Right. No, yeah, it was definitely a not normal thing to see from him.
Yeah, because he's usually mat wrestling or amateur wrestling in his moves, and for him to hit it enziguri was just kind of like, well, it looked good, so hey, whatever.
Yeah, fuck it.
They then run a vignette for Asuka, which led to a Emma interview backstage with Renee Young. Emma did her usual promo about how she started the women's revolution. Young corrected Emma and said she started the women's. Young corrected Emma about starting the women's revolution. Alexa Bliss then walked up and said Emma was right. Bliss then accused Mickie James of body shaming her last week when James called her a little biscuit. Bliss said that she and Emma should team up tonight against Mickie James and a partner of her choosing. And then Bliss ended up joking, saying that Mickie James kind of looked like Betty White.
Dude, I don't get why they gotta always make fun of Mickie James. Why is she the butt of everybody's joke?
It's like back in the day when they had freaking Lay Cool and they were calling her Piggy James. Yeah, I said that on Twitter earlier. I was like, can we just stop making fun of Mickie James?
Yeah, no, it's kind of not nice.
Yeah. So after that, they did a video recap on how Jack Gallaher turned heel against Cedric Alexander, aligned himself with Brian Kendrick. We then had about a 3-minute match. It was Cedric Alexander defeating Jack Gallaher. Alexander won with his lumbar check. Kendrick came down to be in Gallaher's corner, and Rich Swann was actually out there as well in Alexander's corner. Gallaher did mostly rest holds before Kendrick jumped on the apron and stopped Alexander from doing a tope. They then announced, I can't remember if it was right after this or it was a little later, but they did announce that at the pay-per-view, it would be Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann taking on Jack Gallaher and Brian Kendrick. And as far as I know, this is actually not a pre-show match.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. The Cruiserweight, I mean, I'm in love with Gallaher right now. I love everything that he's doing. I think it's fun. I think it's something that he needed. I wish they would have changed his theme song, but that's all right. I think finally having a non-pre-show Cruiserweight match, even if it's just a tag team, because, I mean, if all guys could get their fucking licks in there, I mean, the lumbar check is a badass move.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is a badass move. I think they're going to be fine. It'll be a fun, enjoyable match.
Yeah, that's actually one of 2 Cruiserweight matches that's not on the kickoff because, well, as we'll see here in a second, I'll run it down. So we had Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox did an inset promo about how she didn't tap to Sasha Banks in the big statement last week. She was scratching her nose instead. She then also complained about getting only 1 T-shirt in the 10 years she's been in WWE.
Jeez.
Yeah. She's like, where's my T-shirt? Where's my... Well, she did that after the match. But anyways, so the match... So not even 3. I think it was maybe a 3-minute match, if that. Banks escaped a spinning backbreaker and then won with a bank statement. Fox hit the spinning backbreaker earlier in the match. Afterwards, Fox started screaming about wanting a rematch and kept yelling, "Where's my shirt?" I don't know exactly what spot it happened on, but I noticed as Sasha Banks was walking up the ramp after, she did get busted open a little bit. She was bleeding from the nose. Nothing significant, but she was bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's fine. Believe it or not, wrestlers bleed. Yeah.
So after
People don't know that.
After that, Charlie Caruso started to do an interview with Banks when Alicia Fox actually jumped her from behind backstage. Sasha Banks briefly made a comeback, kinda, before Fox threw her into one of the equipment boxes. A referee jumped in to yell at her, but Fox shoved him down. So it's apparently going to be the pre-show match is Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. I know people are going to be mad about that because they don't want their Sasha Banks on the pre-show, but it's going to be the pre-show match. At least
she's not doing shit right now. She ain't doing shit right now. Put her on the damn pre-show. Be grateful that she's getting a fucking match.
Now, Enzo actually came out, and I'm still kind of confused on this segment, but Enzo comes out.
I'm confused on everything that involves Enzo Amore.
So Enzo comes out and says that he heard a few people booing him. He played up.
Fucking shocking.
He replayed Kalisto beating him last week. Amore said that he got nuked, duped, and robbed out of the Cruiserweight Championship. He was forced into the match by Kurt Angle. He said Mustafa Ali was responsible for costing him the championship because Mustafa Ali pulled him out of the ring as he was pinning Kalisto. Kalisto then came out and said enough was enough. Enzo's mouth was like a was like a 7-Eleven. It never closes.
7-Eleven closes at like midnight.
No, 7-Elevens are not supposed to close unless there's a natural disaster or a reason that they actually can't be in there, like a fire, flood, or something like that.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, 7-Eleven is not supposed to close. The only reason there's locks on their doors is in case there's like a fire or flood or like the guy working has some sort of family emergency and there's nobody else there to fill in.
I like the idea of there's a fire, lock the doors.
So Kalisto said Enzo could...
back's on fire. Fucking lock the doors. All right, let's do it.
So Kalisto was all like, you can blame Kurt Angle all you want, blame the WWE Universe, but there would be no excuse at TLC when he retains the Cruiserweight Championship. Enzo said he's got money stacked higher than Kalisto. Enzo said he earned that money being a star and wondered why Kalisto was standing on the train looking at the light at the end of the tunnel because the Soul Train was coming through. As he said that, Noam Dar, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and R.I. Daivari all jumped to the ring and attacked Kalisto. So I don't know if this is what's going to happen, but to me, it came off like Enzo's going to like lead a heel cruiserweight faction.
Yeah, maybe.
Mustafa Ali then tried to run in for the save. He kind of took out Daivari, Gulak, and Dar before Enzo jumped Ali from behind. And then they all just started beating down Mustafa Ali and Kalisto. Enzo was playing up the getting booed thing as Daivari delivered a short-armed clothesline. But again, Enzo kind of cut him off. Nese held Kalisto as Amore started to just yell right in his face. They then got the heat on Enzo. Enzo asked Kalisto, "How you doing?" and then threw down his microphone. And then at one point, Enzo took his jacket off and Noam Dar just put it on. I was like, what?
Noam Dar is such a fucking nerd. I loved him in ICW. I loved him. I love him in WWE. He is the best. Everything about Noam Dar, I am.
Like Enzo was getting all fired up, so he like throws his jacket down, pulls it off, or whatever. He's yelling at Kalisto, and the next thing I know, Noam Dar's just got it on. So all guys are like back to their feet or whatever, and Enzo kind of looks at Dar like he didn't realize. Like I guess he didn't realize Dar put it on, and he kind of like grabbed the jacket. Like, Dar's wearing it. He kind of like grabs it for a second and then just drops and goes, whatever.
It's fucking keck as shit. I love him.
So that was pretty funny. So after that, we had a pretty darn good match. It was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was Ambrose and Rollins defending against Sheamus and Cesaro. This is about a 10-12 minute match.
Mm-hmm.
They teased the spot from No Mercy where Cesaro got his teeth knocked out.
How?
Freaking Ambrose and Cesaro were set up exactly. Ambrose did the slingshot. Corey Graves goes, "This is the same move." I think it was Corey said. It was like Corey or Michael Cole. Goes, "This is the same move that knocked Cesaro's teeth out." And so they do it. And instead of Cesaro over rotating, I guess you can say, off the slingshot, he just lands right on the middle rope and just taunts the crowd like, "Yay! I landed right." Cesaro's
I'm
cool
not
like
dead,
that.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's fucking baller as
so
shit.
Ambrose won by pinning Sheamus earlier on in the match. In the match, Ambrose and Rollins did stereo dives to the outside. Later on, Sheamus hoisted Rollins up like he threw Rollins in the air, and then Cesaro just landed a nice uppercut to the face.
Nice.
Towards the finish, it appeared Sheamus and Cesaro were supposed to give Ambrose a spiked white noise, but Ambrose was out of position, so they had to improvise with the old Hart Foundation heart attack, forcing Rollins to make the save. Rollins gave Sheamus a Rainmaker knee. What do they call it in 2K18? It's like the ripcord knee.
I haven't even looked what it's called. I always thought it was called just called King's Landing.
No, in 2K18 it's called the ripcord knee strike or something like that.
Probably
a lot of people
stupid.
just call it the Rainmaker knee because it does the same thing like Okada's Rainmaker clothesline, kind of the setup. So anyways, crowd was really, really behind this match. It was actually a pretty good match. I wouldn't say it was as good as the No Mercy match, but I mean, they didn't have as much time either, so it couldn't have been as good.
Okay, well, that's fine.
So then after that, they go to commercial, we come back, and Team Miz is in their locker room, except for Miz. and Axel starts delivering like this motivational speech, kind of like they were supposed to do with Bo Dallas, where he was supposed to give motivational speeches, but this was like a real one where he was pumping them up. He's like, "Hey, it's all good. You guys lost to Ambrose and Rollins tonight, but on Sunday we're not gonna lose. When Braun Strowman wins tonight, I'm gonna be the fifth man on this team, and we're gonna take out the Shield." He's like, "I want to fight right now. I want Roman Reigns," and so and then they were like, "Well, go get him." And he's like, and they were like, "If you want to be on our team, you can't be afraid. Go find Roman Reigns right now." So Axel leaves the locker room. And then he starts walking around, and then Michael Cole joked on Twitter, going like, or not on Twitter, commentary, was like, "Really? It's going to be Curtis Axel? Like, really? Making Axel seem like I'm nothing."
It's fucking, I don't get it. I don't get it.
But so Balor comes out. Bray Wyatt. Now, I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Last week's segment where Bray was quote unquote Sister Abigail was actually a pre-taped thing. Bray actually wasn't at the show last week. He wasn't there this week, and Bo wasn't at the show the last 2 weeks either. I don't know if there's like a family thing going on, what's going on, but both of them were not at the shows last week or this week, and nothing was really said about it.
Best out to them. Hope everything's all right.
Yeah, I hope there's nothing.
Seriously.
I mean, other than Bray's divorce, like going on and whatnot, I haven't heard anything else personal with them. So, anyways, Balor came out, said Wyatt introduced the world to Sister Abigail. He didn't know what to think about that. Maybe Wyatt had lost his mind, or maybe he outsmarted everyone. Balor said when he was young, he read about the Celtic festival of, I'm going to say this right, Samhain. I hope I say that right. I don't know. Where at the night the dead would rise and monsters would walk the earth. He used to think these were just stories, but after seeing Sister Abigail, he realized that these weren't just stories and they were real. So I guess he thinks that Bray really turned into Sister Abigail.
It's so dumb. He looks like a pumpkin.
Well, I'm going to get to that. Balor said Wyatt may have his tricks, but he's also got his own tricks. And he will be like the legend of Sam. I hope I say this right fucking again. Samhain? I don't fucking know. He will slay a monster with a demon of his own. Balor said his demon has no fear. Then Balor's face changed into the Demon King persona, but it was instead of like regular, instead of regular black and white and red Demon King, it was freaking orange and black. I guess, hey, Halloween's coming up in a week and a half or so. So let's make him look like a pumpkin.
It's the spooky Demon King. The spooky Demon King.
Yeah, I have no freaking idea what to think of this. It's stupid. Apparently, Finn's not gonna challenge for the Universal title come Survivor Series, so it's not like oh, he gets to do this stupid stuff, but don't worry, he's getting something good soon. Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do soon.
Yeah, no, I have legit no idea either.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So next up we had a tag team match. It was Alexa Bliss and Emma, Mickie James, and Mickie James found Bayley to be her partner.
Interesting team.
And it was an okay match. They got over 10 minutes, I think. I think it was about 10, 11 minutes. It went through a commercial. I was surprised on that one.
Huh.
So Mickie pinned Alexa Bliss with the Mick kick after, I think, Alexa took down Bayley. As she got up, she turns around and Mickie kicks her right in the face for the pin. Yeah, that was right. I don't know why I'm blanking on that, but that's exactly what happened.
You can do it.
Bayley actually worked most of the match. I was surprised she was in more than Mickie. Bliss at one point slapped.
Makes sense, kind of.
Bliss slapped Bayley over and over again at one point, and the crowd kind of stayed into it for the most part, even through the commercial break. And then they played up on commentary, oh, Alexa Bliss won tonight. Can she win on Sunday and become a 7-time women's champion?
Jesus.
So then we see Miz walked into the locker room and it was like, okay, you guys lost, whatever. We're Team Miz. We're going to go up against the Shield. And then Miz said, wait, where's Axel? And Strowman goes, Axel wanted to beat up Reigns. So we told him to go find him. Like it was pretty much like, we don't want you on our team. We know the Shield is going to kick your butt if you try to find them. So we're going to play the little geek off and say, go get beat up, which is pretty much what happened. Like it was exactly like that. It was like, oh, you're the geek that wants to be with the cool kids. We don't want you with the cool kids. So we'll let you go get your butt beat, and then you don't have to be with us. So Sheamus and Cesaro were joking under their breath about it when Strowman said that, and the Miz was like, oh crap, I gotta go find him. Like he didn't say those. He didn't say those words. It was pretty much like, "Oh man, do I have to go find him and save him?"
Story of my life.
So Charlie Caruso did an interview with Mickie James about facing Bliss. James admitted that the age jokes were getting to her, but she has a 3-year-old son that she's doing this for, and she wants to bring the title back to him, and she wants her 7th women's championship. Da 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 da. Yeah, same promo she's been cutting for the past couple of weeks.
That's how it goes.
Miz was then walking around backstage yelling, Axel, Axel, Axel. And then we find Curtis Axel strung upside down from his feet on a forklift, ribs all bruised up. And officials were all tending to him. And we never really saw the beat down. We saw Axel find the Shield, and then it goes to commercial. And then it comes back with this. We never saw him actually get beat down by the Shield. So they could always play it off like Shield didn't do it. But we know it was a Shield.
Yeah, it was the Shield.
So we then had the main event. Braun Strowman defeated Roman Reigns in a steel cage match. But we got to run down exactly what happened. So earlier in the night, Kurt Angle said if anybody that's going to be in that TLC main event comes down, then their side would lose, either Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman. If Braun Strowman wins, they get to add a 5th member to Team Miz. If the Shield wins, if Roman wins, Braun's pulled out of the match. Well, that didn't really matter because everybody came down to this match. Sheamus and Cesaro were trying to scale the cage. Miz was on commentary. Well, first, Miz was clever. He goes, I'm just sitting on commentary. I'm not getting involved. Kurt can't get mad at me, which was kind of clever in itself.
Yeah, that's true.
So as Sheamus and Cesaro scaling the cage, Reigns and Ambrose run down. They pull them down. They start fighting to the back. Miz follows them. They then end up in the parking lot. So Miz pulls down all the bay doors and locks them so they can't come back in. I'm like, okay, I don't know why you're doing that.
Joke's on them.
So we're having a pretty good cage match. Roman hits, it looked like at one point, Roman runs at Braun, and Braun throws Roman in the air, and I think, he's just going to land on his face like Roman does in his squash matches where he throws the guy up and lets him land face down. But as Roman's coming down, he hits Braun with a Superman punch, which is pretty impressive, actually. Because Braun actually...
Yeah, definitely.
Braun threw him up pretty high, especially for being Roman Reigns. And sometimes when you see Roman hit the Superman, you can see where he actually doesn't hit it. But this one looked good. So as the match goes on, Roman's in control, and then Kane's music hits out of nowhere. I'm thinking, did I change the channel? Did I turn on the WWE network? Because I didn't think Kane was ever coming back, or at least not anytime soon. So Kane's music hits, lights go all red, and I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? Roman's looking up the ramp. Excuse me. And so Roman's like, okay, nothing's happening. So he goes over to Strowman, and as he turns around, there's Kane coming up through the ring. Kane gets up. Roman's all like shocked. Kane grabs him, choke slam. Picks him up, choke slam. Lights go out or come back on. He then hits Roman with a tombstone. Braun then hits his power slam and pins Roman Reigns. Here's something I just thought of.
Shoot.
Kane's back to get revenge for his brother Undertaker, Roman Reigns.
Oh, fuck. No. Don't poison me.
That just literally popped into my head. I was like, why would he want to attack Roman Undertaker?
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes logistical sense.
So with Braun winning, they get to add a 5th member to Team Miz, and that man is going to be Kane.
Fucking Kane. Goddamn Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
Freaking somebody's insurance agent.
That's insane.
So yeah, that was Raw. It was a better Raw than most weeks. It had its points where it was like, is this over yet? And I was glad that they actually saved a main event for the main event instead of putting like the biggest thing on at 10:15 and then letting us know, hey, nothing else on the show matters. That's what they've done the last like 3 weeks. Once, I guess 10:15 for the East Coast, 7:15 here on the West Coast, depending on if you're watching it live. Once that hits, it's usually just like, okay, nothing else matters. At least they didn't put Enzo in the main event spot again.
Yeah.
I guess the Kane thing, if you would have done that early, it would have kind of killed it. You wanted it to be like the last thing you see as the show goes off the air, and then you're just like, what the hell? And you got to watch the pay-per-view on Sunday. Instead of, if it would have been earlier, then you would have been like, are we going to get an explanation? Are we going to get an explanation? It would have maybe helped the rest of the show rating, but at the same time, it wouldn't have been like, oh, they didn't say anything. I don't care about the Sunday pay-per-view now. But with that, TLC is this Sunday, and that was Raw. You have any closing comments, Nick?
No, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for the patrons that are listening to this early, this day. They're gonna probably hear it by like 10 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, it should be up fairly earlier than that. But yeah, again, it's gonna be the Raw review and the SmackDown review will go up the same night they air on TV on Patreon, and then the next morning they will go up on YouTube for non-patrons.
Well, there you go. How you doing? Thank you guys for tuning in.
Have a great night, guys. This was a Raw review. Tomorrow is SmackDown. So keep it locked on Pro Wrestling Unlimited on YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere they consider it social media. We're hopefully there.
Big dog.
Have a good night, guys. Or day if you're watching this during the day.